Depending on whom you ask, the everyday Nigerian experience may have slightly diluted the immense respect soldiers once commanded in the country. But the truth remains that being a soldier is no easy task. 𝐂𝐻𝐧 reminds us just how tough being a soldier can be, the toll it takes on officers and the sacrifices their families make. The film is part of the First Features Project, an initiative led by Steve Gukas and Dr. Olakuri to help emerging filmmakers bring their first projects to life. As the name suggests, it's all about giving creators a start. Welcome to the latest episode of Rinzy Reviews Is This Worth Watching? Today, we are craving your attention to discuss 𝐻𝐻𝐧. Before we jump in, hit those like and subscribe buttons, not just to boost our egos, but to help this channel stand out with YouTube's algorithm. Don't be like Siri. We actually want you to fall in love with us. Alright, glad we could get that out of the way. So, what's 𝐻𝐻𝐧 all about, you ask? Directed by Seun Richards, the story follows Major Ifeanyi Agbo, played by Samuel Asa'ah, a soldier who's been to hell and back, quite literally. After a traumatic mission in Northeastern Nigeria, Agbo returns home physically and mentally scarred. He's lost his entire battalion during the rescue mission, and now he's battling PTSD, survivor's guilt, and the grim realization that he may never be the man he used to be again. To make matters worse, his family is caught in the crossfire of his emotional turmoil, particularly his wife Lara, portrayed by Anee Icha. The film delves into the complexities of PTSD and how the trauma ripples out to affect not only the soldier, but also those closest to them. The good. Simply by existing, 𝐻𝐻𝐧 earns positive points for tackling PTSD and survivor's guilt from the perspective of a Nigerian soldier. These topics rarely get enough attention in Nigerian cinema. The portrayal of Agbo's mental unraveling is both heartbreaking and realistic. One standout scene is the one where Agbo practically begs his superior to let him return to work, despite it being painfully obvious to everyone but Agbo himself that he is not ready. The struggle to accept that your best days might be behind you is a powerful narrative, and the film handles it with care. Samuel Asa'ah nails the role of Agbo. He carries the weight of the character's trauma in his eyes, his body language, and even in his silences. His performance anchors the film, and you can almost feel the heaviness of his burden. The film also draws thoughtful parallels between Major Agbo's suffering and his wife's. Through the actions, to an extent, we witness the toll war can take on survivors and how a spouse's hope for their partner's safe return, or in this case, recovery, can tragically shift to regret. It's a heartbreaking reality that's more common than many care to acknowledge. Ironically, the last thing I liked is what comes first in this movie, the opening scene. 𝐻𝐻𝐧 opens with intense gunfire and a sudden bomb explosion as Agbo and his team venture deep into the forest to rescue captive women from insurgents. Nollywood filmmakers are getting better at hooking viewers right from the start, and 𝐻𝐻𝐧 does this well. This thrilling opening isn't just for spectacle, it gives us a glimpse of the man Agbo once was, making it easy to root for him as he struggles to reclaim his former self throughout the film. The bad. Now, as much as 𝐻𝐻𝐧 hits some emotional highs, it also stumbles with a few lows. The film runs nearly 2 hours, and unfortunately it feels every bit of it. The pacing drags, especially in the middle where we cycle the same emotional beats repeatedly. Agbo refuses help. His family grows more fearful, and we witness his mental state deteriorating. The movie could have been much tighter and more impactful if it had trimmed some of these repetitive moments. Another missed opportunity is the lack of character depth. Well, there is character depth to an extent. It just doesn't go all the way and kind of feels surface. Let me explain. We don't learn much about Agbo or Lara beyond their immediate struggles. A deeper dive into their past or exploring how Agbo's condition affects their intimacy, for example, would have added layers to the story that were much needed. The film seems to skim the surface of the complex themes it addresses, leaving us wanting more. Also, as much as I appreciated Anee Icha's performance, it sometimes felt like she wasn't the best fit for Lara. There are key moments where the emotional weight needed just doesn't land, and this takes away from the impact of certain scenes. And while the ending is hopeful, it feels a little too convenient. For a film that spent so much time highlighting the harsh realities of trauma, Agbo's decision to seek help seems almost too easy story-wise. Very important to note, story-wise, it's all about the way it flows. It felt like the filmmakers wanted to wrap things up neatly, opting for the lowest hanging fruit to offer a safe conclusion. While I understand the desire for a hopeful finish, the approach slightly undercuts the earlier emotional weight, and honestly could have been handled much better. In conclusion, so does At Ease stand tall or buckle under the pressure? The film addresses PTSD and survivor's guilt with a sensitivity that's refreshing in Nollywood, but it doesn't always hit the mark when it comes to pacing and character depth that would have really made those subject matters blossom. That said, its exploration of the emotional toll of war on soldiers and their families is both timely and necessary. If you're looking for a film that challenges how we think about mental health, especially in the Nigerian context, this one is definitely worth your time. And let's not forget, it's another win for the First Features project, so it deserves props for daring to tell such an important story, just like many of the other entries in this film series. So, what do you think? Would you watch At Ease? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more in-depth Nollywood reviews, hot takes and everything in between. See you in the next video.